And now in our studio chat, we are joined with Levi Ndo, political analyst. Thank you very much for joining us here at 8 and 7. Now we have seen that two leaders of the top brass of the NFP have resigned. What does this mean for the party now?
Well, I think one must actually indicate that the NFP's formation came as a result of a breakaway of Guan Huamikasa from the IFP. But then you have a party like the NFP that has its stronghold in KwaZulu-Natal and which was actually growing in terms of the support. Even though there were instances where the leader, Mrs. Msibi, got sick, there were clear indications that the party seemed to be in safe hands. But now with the current crisis, with the resignations of senior party leaders, this has actually come as a blow to the party. People cannot just be elected in positions of responsibility. I think it was informed by the fact that there is a lot that they were bringing to the party, and also as individuals they might be having a lot of following. And obviously this would be a recipe for a disaster for the NFP. But I think as well, they need to go back and say, what is it that we have done wrong? And what is the best way of ensuring that they assemble a stronger team again so that the party becomes stronger and be able to be similar to other political parties in the Republic.
Now, let's look at some of the decisions that were taken under the guidance of the NFP President Guan Huamikasa Msibi. What do you make of her leadership skills?
Well, I think she comes with a huge experience as a leader. Firstly, she, as I've indicated, she's coming from the IFP, and she was occupying a very senior position in the IFP. Remember, she was the national chairperson of the IFP, and when she broke away from the IFP and formed the new party, she had a huge following, and that is confirmed by the number of seats, even though they don't have a lot of seats in the National Assembly, but that is confirmed by the fact that they have got seats in the National Assembly, and I think based on her experience in politics, that's why she became the deputy minister. But also, it's important to note that even though, as an individual, she has got a lot of experience and people expect a lot from her, you need other people to surround you when you're forming a political party. And that is why I'm saying that if you have senior leaders of the party moving out of the party, it actually becomes a huge blow to the party, because you actually need strong personnel so that you must have a strong political party.
What could be the reasons for people to resign?
Well, I think the reasons are well known. Firstly, one must indicate that in the absence of the leader, Magwaza Msibi, while she was sick, these are the very same people that were in charge of the party. And now you'll recall that there are issues that relate to the payment of the fees to the IEC in order for the NFP to contest the elections. And you know that the supporters on the ground are actually not happy, and that's why some of them even went further to go to their national offices in order to indicate to show their displeasure in how this matter has been handled. And I think most of the followers of the NFP are not happy because they are frustrated that their party is not going to participate in the elections, but also at the same time, the leader herself could not be comfortable with this kind of a situation. And I think that is why we're in this type of a crisis.
Now, we know that there are people who have already resigned in the party, and we know that there are also people who have been suspended. Now, looking at the local elections, it's just less than a month from now that we're going to start. What could happen to the party itself?
Few things. We don't know what these other leaders were actually doing in the party in the absence of Guan Huamikasa Msibi. We don't know what they were doing. But what we do know is that these are the people that were in charge of the party, and they ensured that the party is intact. And I think that can be confirmed by what we saw when the party was launching its manifesto. We saw a lot of people, of supporters there who attended the rally. But then obviously the leadership, at a personal level, Mrs. Msibi and other members of the party are actually not happy with the fact that under the leadership of these people, the NFP could not pay money to the IEC in order to contest the elections. It means that the followers of the party and the members of the party are going to be left stranded and frustrated because their party might not participate in the elections. It also means that the other political parties are actually going to say that here is a group of people that are frustrated. We need to make sure that we convince these people in order to go and vote for our parties. And what might that mean in the long run? It might mean that some people might be comfortable in the parties that they voted for, and they might then leave the NFP. And that's why I'm saying this indeed is a big blow to the NFP. And I hope they must find better strategies in order to resuscitate the party after this big problem.
Talking about better strategies that they need to look into, it seems as if it's not the first time that the NFP gets disqualified, because in 2011 they went through the same process as well. Now, citizens are asking, why must they vote for a party that could not do a simple thing as deposit the amount that was needed by the IEC? How will it be able to actually take control of the whole country if such they couldn't adhere to that?
Well, I think if you listen to the reasons provided by the leadership, they're actually saying that there were some misunderstandings with the monies. They did pay. There were issues with the check that bounced, and so on and so on. Those are simple administrative issues. And I think it's very, very important, not only for the NFP, but to all political parties, that if you need a strong political party, you must have a strong administrative team that must ensure that this kind of mistakes don't happen to your parties. Well, currently one might also say that, maybe as a question to say, do we have to rely on an individual for a party to survive? If the leader of the party is not feeling well, are things going on right in the party or not? Because those are some of the questions that we must ask ourselves. But now, if these are kind of things that also happens towards elections, it also puts a huge doubt on the voters to say, if they cannot deal with these simple things, could we then give them the responsibility to run the administration of the state if they cannot deal with these simple things? And those are the kind of questions that actually come to the minds of a lot of people. But I think they might still develop better reasons to say this is what actually happened, and convince their constituencies to come back and still support them as the party of their choice.
All right, thank you so much for joining us and giving us some more details. We were joined by Levi Ndo, a political analyst here in studio, talking about the NFP as they have a crisis that came up. A lot of their members were suspended, as well as resignation have been also handed in. Thank you very much, sir.